welcome to another little video. I hope you're well and that you've had a lovely creative time since I saw you here last. I've made another little box pouch. So you may remember seeing this one that I made some time ago actually now, which was made by you had a whole piece of cloth and then I added to it, and I loved making that, and this comes everywhere with me. And I've just finished this. This was a little make along on Patreon. If you are one of our patrons, this is in the process of being edited, so it's either going to go up in one video, but it's a bit of a mammoth, so it may be two. But if it's not there by the time this video goes up, it is on its way. And I've loved it. So I've done this making the pieced cloth. Now, I've mentioned this on here once before, well, 2 or 3 times before. Piecing cloth together, it's like making quilts. It's something that's been around forever and people have done it for hundreds of years. But I was inspired particularly to do mine by 3 ladies in particular that I would like to mention again, because I think inspiring people and getting inspiration from people is what these videos and podcasts, etc., are all about. So the first lady is Spirit Cloth. I think her name is Jude. And she has lots and lots of little short videos on her YouTube channel, and they are just beautiful to just have on a playlist and just watch them through. And I've seen her do some lovely little techniques on there, stitching techniques that I incorporate in my stitching now. Many of them that I'd seen before, many of them that I hadn't. Another lady is lovely Catherine, who's K3N Cloth Tales, who I've mentioned on here many times before, who makes wonderful regular videos. She lives down in France and she's lovely, very, very inspirational. And the other lady is Jerry Bellini, and she is also, she makes lots of, I think she's making maybe at least a video a week now. And both she and Jude are, I believe they're both United States, and Jerry has a thing about dots, and I completely respect that, because being obsessed with polka dot, and a little quilt I made for my grandson had circles on it, and whenever I add embroidery onto my nature journal it's circles. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those 3 ladies, because they have all inspired me to do my stitching, and hopefully I will inspire you in turn. And I like to sort of do the pieced cloth and then kind of make it my own by embellishing it and doing a little bit of couching, a little bit of embroidery. I had to have my little cow parsley on here, and obviously polka dot because it is the law. And I've just loved making it. It's been a joy. I love it, absolutely love it. Box pouches, they're one of my passions actually. It might sound a strange thing to say, but it's what I love to do. And I'll show you this little one here. This is from our Regency box. So I've had lots of emails asking about, are we going to do more of our first Regency box? I can't replicate that box. I'd love to, but the needle book in there was a piece of beautiful old vintage quilt, and I can't reproduce the same colorways in that exact piece of quilt, so I can't, but I am going to be putting some more together in a similar vein if you're interested. This is part of our second Regency box, which is Ballroom Silks, and again I've had lots of messages asking, I just do sewing, I can't knit. So what we've done is we've put together a few extra of the box pouches with the little threads. So these are the little hand-dyed silk threads that they come with in the Regency, in the colourways. And so that we're going to pop a few of those in the shop. There won't be too many of them because we're doing as many as we can for the hand-dyed silks that we have at the moment. These are pure 100% silk, and that comes with the little box pouch. So just a few of those available if you're interested. And sorry we couldn't make the other one again, but we will be coming up with some new ones. And the other thing I wanted to say is about another lovely little book. I get a lot of messages again, people asking where do I get my books from and what they are. So this is one that I picked up ages ago, Reader's Digest, Nature Lovers, a library. Wildflowers, you can also get, I think there's animals, you can get Birds of Britain. They do all different ones, and this is what they're like inside. Move these out of the way. And this is my next thing that I'm going to do, because I keep coming back to this. All the parsleys. Look, Chervil, my beloved cow parsley. 8 common parsleys, and it's just all sweet cicely, hemlock, wild angelica. They're all so similar, but they're all obviously very, very different. And I'm going to do some more of that. Look at that one. Marsh pennywort. I think these are lovely. Look at this one. That might be a contender. So I'm going to begin stitching these. These are part of the quilt that I'm doing using my other pieced cloth. So similar to this style with pieced cloth, which I will also probably embellish again like I have this. And then I was going to do some embroideries within. And I think this book is probably, I've got another beautiful book which I'll try and show you one each week. But this is definitely going to inspire some of my stitching. So just thought I'd show so that you know where I get my inspiration from, other lovely ladies and beautiful old books. So some of the other things that we've been creating over the last week or so. I have always been in love with Liberty. I can remember the first time I was ever taken to the store by my mum and just being captivated with it. The wooden staircases and sort of peering down, looking at the floors from below in the atrium, looking up. It was just, the whole thing was fascinating. And there's always, although there's a bustle, there was always a sort of hush as well. It was just something magical. And I've always loved Liberty, and I've always loved Liberty fabrics. So for our new little range of colourways of hand-dyed threads and hand-dyed silks, we're doing an inspired by range. And amongst many things we're going to do some inspired by Liberty. So I'd like to introduce you to our first one, which is, if I show you one of the bags, and yeah. So this is inspired by Liberty. This is Zara. This is an organic Tanalorn with a beautiful Tanalorn lining. And this comes with, this is a sock set. So we've picked out the pinks here and the lemons and this lovely kind of tealy, it's almost a bottle tealy green. And this is a double sock set. So this is a 100-gram skein, 2 20-gram minis, inspired by Liberty, and this is on our sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So this is suitable for any fingering weight, sock weight pattern that you might have. Lovely for a blanket or a shawl, whatever you like. And this is the little pouch that comes with it. It's a little drawstring pouch with little hand sewn tabs, and that is the first one that we're offering. We've also got the bigger box pouch. So this one has got the round bottom. This one has got a box bottom, so it's a larger one. So for example, if I put that in there, that would take 2 or 3 skeins. Again, drawstring, little hand sewn tabs, and that is on its own. We've sold out of the ready to ship, and I'm currently making the pre-order bags. So I'm saying allow me a few days to make them. So as I've mentioned before, we do have a little grandchild that we're awaiting the birth of any day now. So when the little grandchild arrives, everything will obviously have to stop for a few days. But until that point, I'm saying allow me 2 or 3 days to make the bags for you. And as I said, I am in the process of making one, as you see one there. And the other thing that we're doing is we have a little box pouch. These box pouches are probably one of the most popular things that we sell, and I think, like me, you sort of fallen in love with the use of them. So a little box pouch that I showed you earlier, I just love them. I use them for everything. And this is a little box pouch in the same fabric, same lining, and this comes with 5 hand-dyed. These are pure silk threads. So that comes together as another little package. So they are all in the shop now, and that is Inspired by Liberty, which will either be under new and featured, or depending on when you're viewing this video, it will be under yarn, and I will also put it under project bags. So that's our Inspired by Liberty. Look at this little one here. I love the detail in Liberty prints. You can look at them and always sort of find something new. Also bought some Liberty for another little special makes that I'm doing. So that's Inspired by Liberty. So the other little project that I've been working on is my nature journal, and I've been stitching this. Right, let me finish my stitching there. This is a little embroidery pattern that was in our Rabbit in the Meadow Country Diaries box that you almost certainly would have received by now, and I stitched it once using a single strand, and then this is using 2 strands of DMC embroidery floss, and I stitched the bottom by just doing stitches going across horizontally, and then here I used stem stitch, which I then did a whip stitch over, and for the smaller little parts I just use split stitch. And I'm loving that. So this is I think the Latin name for this is quaking grass, sorry, I should have said, and I think the Latin name for this is Britza Medea. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, which I think I'm probably going to embroider down here. If you we're also going to upload this onto Patreon for you, should you wish to stitch it. We didn't do it with the text because it was just a little bit too tiny for you to actually stitch. But I think that would look really nice stitched along here, and I love, you know me, I love my I love embroidering words, etc. But and this is on a lovely bit of vintage linen. So what I'm going to do is, I think I might do this. I know I've got a thing for circles, but I think I may do this more as an outline shape of the embroidery, and then that will go into my nature journal, which I will update you with actually next week. Lots of bits and pieces have gone on there, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually torn at the moment between stitching my nature journal and stitching on my piece of cloth, both the box pouch that I've been doing and also the larger piece that I'm working on. So yeah, I'm going to stop there because I'm going to confuse myself actually. So that's my other little embroidery that I'm working on, and I'm always stitching on something. I have a little panic if I go out without stitching. It's funny, isn't it, things you take with you. I've been watching a lot of I love watching, you know, what's in your bag. I love those little things you get on YouTube. I love that. Mine would be full of, well, hand creams and goodness knows what else, but mine would also be full of little projects that I take everywhere with me just in case I get the opportunity. Very rarely do I, but just in case I get the opportunity. But then if you're a stitcher or a knitter or a crocheter, you'll understand. One of our favourite things to create, we love putting boxes together for you, and an increasing amount of our time actually is putting boxes together, which we love. I'll put some footage in here of a butterfly on the buddleia, which is still shipping now. Many of you will have already received it, and we have a few boxes ready to ship. We loved putting that one together. That was so much fun. This is our next Country Diaries box, and it is Goldfinch on a Thistle. We plan the boxes that are coming up through the year, and we've been looking forward to this one. So it's going to be, this is a goldfinch that I stitched from the pattern that we're going to include in the box. So this has been, the black stitching is the pattern that you get, and I used Inktense to just add a bit of colour. But you will get this pattern. You may have already had this before if you have one of our previous boxes, but it's one that you've asked for lots of times, so we've put it in the box. And you can stitch this in the same way as I stitched the wren. Actually, see if I can find it here on. So this is a robin. This is my last year's nature journal. This is a robin, so you can stitch the goldfinch if you wanted to in full. So you could use the way the feathers are going in the pattern, and you could stitch this if you felt that that would be quite a long project. It's something that I'm currently doing at the moment, actually. Or so you could it could be stitched like that, or around here somewhere I have a little wren. Here we are. Or you could stitch it in the same way that I've done the wren here, just the outline of the goldfinch and no colour on it at all. I think that looks equally as lovely. And as I said, what I've done here is I've stitched it and I've added some colour. So that pattern will be in the box. There won't be any threads because, as I said, there are so many different ways you can stitch it. But that pattern will be in the box, and it will be a 100-gram skein, 5 20-gram minis, this pattern, and then there'll be something in there for your journaling. And would have seen a little bit of footage that we've probably just put in of Christopher sketching the artwork for it. This is a little goldfinch that will be slightly smaller than this in your box for your journaling. And if you're one of our patrons, there's a little video up there of how Christopher goes about stitching the designing these for our boxes. And there'll also be a little fabric bundle. So that's our new Country Diaries goldfinch on a thistle. Not goldfish, that's a very different sort of thing. A goldfinch on a thistle. And the colours. So although you've got fairly bold colours here, you've got reds, the yellows of the goldfinch, and you've got the a sort of lavender of the deep lavender of the thistle. We're going to be looking at the thistle as it's kind of fading, and the colours there'll be a warm sort of vintage vibe. So you're not going to open your Country Diaries box and see vivid reds and yellows. It won't be like that. It will be quite muted, and it's scrumptious. It's lovely. We've decided not to show you this one. Last month we actually showed you the one. This one we're holding back. So this one's going to be a surprise when you open it. So that is Goldfinch on a Thistle, and that is in the shop Friday the 26th of July at 8 p.m. British summertime. Summertime, that's an interesting thing. We're not really having much of a summer here in the UK, actually. In fact, I apologise if there's any kind of change in the lighting levels, because the sun's been out, then it's gone in, and it's actually raining now. It's completely different, sort of, it's like 5 days within one day. Anyway, that's in the shop for Friday. So thank you so much for coming to join me, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next week. And next time I will show you a bit more of my nature journal, which I haven't shown you for a long time now. Fingers crossed for Bubba arriving soon. Have a lovely weekend.